if I punched most of you guys in the stomach, you'd pass out. I mean, literally, pass out. I mean, you are who you hang around with. I mean, and you hang around with wusses, you become a wuss. And I happen to hang around with a lot of tough guys. And plus, my dad was a super tough alpha male. But all my dad's buddies were war hero guys, just like your grandparents used to be. So the stuff that I saw growing up is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, that's what you do. And here I am, 65 years later. I tell the young kids, join the military. Join the military. Even the wussy military now is better than the wussy life that you're leading. Now, I'm not telling you to go back and slap your mother. I'm not telling you that, even though some of your moms need to be slapped. But you're way past that, so I don't want you going to jail for that. And you going back and telling your parents this isn't going to do any good. I have a great saying, a motto: don't waste time on things you can't change. Your parents are never going to change. Never. They're past that. It's all free. And I don't sell any. And why did I decide? I went from the most expensive stuff on the internet, $5,000, $10,000 for a little course, to zero. Because I wanted to take the last excuse away from you weenies why you don't do it. So you can't say 20 years from now, I didn't know how. When the material is free, you just didn't look at it. It's free. And if it's free, even in Poland, it should be for you. It's for me. But the differentiation is the year mentor program. I mentor you for free for a year after you come to the seminar. Because why is it for free? Because if I decide to retire, if I decide that you're worthless, or most of the time the kids drop out because I'm so tough. Kids, if my daughter were here, God love her, she would say, why in the fuck would anybody want to be with you for a year being mentored? They have no idea. They have a death wish? They have shit for brains? Because I am hard. I'm not like your weenie parents. The only thing I don't do now is I don't hit you anymore. But I'd love to choke you sometimes. I really would. Because 3/4 of the people in this room need a goddamn beating. That's what you need. Some of the shit that comes out of your mouth is vile. It's detestable. Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea. How many presidents have you met? How many dead people? How many times have you jumped from space? You don't know anything. Yet you got an opinion on everything, don't you? You get on those goddamn blogs. I mean, it's unbelievable.
If somebody is deep in the depth, or doesn't have any net worth, or even minus.
You find a way. Well, most of you shouldn't live in Poland. I'm sure the school administration didn't want, Did you see it on the competitive list? Now wake up, meatheads. I put that fucking chart up there for a reason. Wake up! But, I tell people, and I'm not telling you, when I was growing up and making money, I spent 125% of every penny that I made every year. If I made $10,000, I spent $12,500. If I made $1 million, I spent $1.25 million. If I made $10 million, I spent $12.5 million. Why did I do that? Because I didn't want a backup plan. I wanted nothing that I could lean back on. You know how they tell you to have 6-month reserves? That's all horse shit. Guess what? And then you have a backup plan, and then your whole life turns into a backup plan. It's only recently, in the last 10 or 15 years, that we don't spend 125% of what we make. And that's just the opposite of what the kids, the gurus tell the kids. But if you have no choice but to succeed, where failure is not an option, guess what? You don't fail. If your life depended on it, you wouldn't fail. Your ancestors, just not even as far back as World War II, some of the great fighters, some of the great fights. Or the Polish, in the Polish Air Force over the Battle of Britain. What the fuck happened to everybody? Now, yeah, it's tough to find anybody that's got a weenie more than 1 centimeter long. I was walking, these guys, we were in Starbucks. No, went in one of those places this morning. I looked at these kids. I almost was going to jump up and go, ah! And all shit their pants. Literally. The one guy that kept on looking at his hair going like this, and he had a mirror in his phone. I never saw that before. They have a mirror. And he's going, I just wanted to go up and just hit him in the head. Girls, what happened? A stiff drink and a good fucking killed, 70% of the guys that I've met so far here. It's just, but it's where the world is. Because I'm like an Olympic coach. You want to get a gold medal, sweetheart? And you can't call girls sweetheart anymore. Hey, blondie, big ass, big tits. You want to get a goddamn gold medal? You do this. And I'm not like Harvey Weinstein I'm just strictly business. You get the results following the plan. I have 7 easy steps. You don't have to come to the castle. 7 easy steps. Now, I say this, I'm being sarcastic. For some of you, I think you can't count to 7 by looking at you. But, 7 easy steps. 7. You got to be honest, moral, and ethical. Those are my 3 benchmarks. Thank you. Okay. Honest, moral, ethical. If it's not honest, moral, and ethical, I don't do it. Honest, moral, ethical. But now some of you will say or think, well, my ethics aren't the same as his ethics. You're right about that, okay? Because, eye for an eye in the Bible, and you turn the other cheek in the Bible. I'm certainly eye for an eye. I'm not sure I ever turned the other cheek. So, that's a slight exaggeration, but honest, moral, and ethical. And the kids have been raised honest, moral, and ethical. But but it's too easy to get off the mark and do dishonest stuff. I'm not saying it's any easier now than it used to be, because if somebody wants to cheat you, they're going to cheat you. They'll figure out a way to cheat. But no, it's got to be honest, moral, and ethical. And quite frankly, a lot of the guys that you read about, they never talk about that. Nobody ever asks Warren Buffett. Nobody. Nobody ever asked Steve Jobs that same question. Nobody. Nobody ever asked Elon. Nobody. There's a reason. Those guys are fucking hard as nails. Some of those guys think I'm a pussy. And if I'm a pussy, what the fuck are you? I can eat this whole room alive by myself. And I'm a pussy in that world. Some of the big guys think I'm weak. Just think about it. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not weak. What I'm not is I'm not ruthless. I know how to be ruthless. If you and I are in a corporate battle and you decide to up the game and do something ruthless, I'll take your head off. I'll cut your head off and shit down your neck. I know how to do that. It's a little difficult with a little lady. You got to get the shoulders in between your knees like this, and you got to turn like this. But I know how to do that. Plus, I'm physically tough. I'm a tough guy. I'm a tough guy. Still,